Today's session is very important. It speaks about how the Vitarkavadins debate, how they try to prove that Karma Yoga is more important than Jnana Yoga, or at least equal. Yeah. So they try to debate, and you will be in that situation where they will debate with you, because they are your own projection. You yourself came from there. You came from the Karma Yoga path or the Bhakti Yoga path. So because you have this strong influence as your background, you have projected a lot of friends from that path. So your own reflections, your own projections, all of them will debate with you how their path is greater than your path. So same advice Sri Rama is giving Lakshmana. That, oh Lakshmana, you should know this, you should be wary of this, that you have come from the Karma Yoga path, you have come from the Bhakti path. You will definitely have those people debating with you, arguing with you. Yes, and you should be aware. This is the main topic of these 4 verses. So we'll begin with the first verse, verse number 11, where he addresses the same issue. Now, in this verse, because it is an opinion of the Karma Yogi, the translation and direct seeing of their argument is not going to be separate. Because it is their view. There is no direct seeing of what their view is. Their view is their view. Clear? Their argument is their argument. So we will, when we look at a particular verse, we usually see its translation separately and we look at its direct seeing separately. But if somebody has an argument and that argument is presented to you, you cannot see it any other way other than how they have phrased it. Therefore, translation will equal direct seeing in the verses which are related to their argument. Okay. So we look verse number 11. Nanu kriya veda mukhena chodata tathaiva vidya purushartha sadhanam kartavyata pranabhrataha prachodita vidya sahayatvam upaiti sa punaha. So in this verse number 11, it is the argument of the ritualist or the argument of the one who has come from the Karma Yoga path. What does he say? He says, for salvation, the Vedas applaud Karma Yoga, path of action. And the Vedas equally praise Jnana Yoga, which is the path of wisdom. The Vedas commend both parts, and they say that both complement each other. Both paths complement each other. Hence, Karma Yoga is essential. This is their argument. Their argument is based on what the scriptures say. For those who have the little knowledge of the Vedas, it has a separate section on Karma Khanda and a separate section on Jnana Khanda. Karma Khanda means the section on Karma Yoga, Jnana Khanda, the section on wisdom. So because both of these are very clearly elaborated, so this is used as an argument by the ritualists, basically the Karma Yogis. And that is how they try to prove that Karma Yoga is essential. You cannot say that Karma Yoga is not essential. You remember in the previous verse, Rama had said that only jnana can remove ajnana, means only knowledge can remove lack of knowledge. Yes? Karma cannot do this. You remember, right? This is in response to that. Verse 11 is in response to that, what was said in verse 10. So now, when somebody argues with you, bringing up Vedas, then he tries to shut you up with just bringing up the scripture and saying, the scripture is so important and it has Karma Khanda as well as Jnana Khanda. So you should not be really just thinking that Jnana Khanda is the most important. This is their argument. And in verse 12, this argument continues. Verse 12. Karma kritau doshamapi shrutir jago tasmat sada karyam idam mumukshuna nanu swatantrata dhruva karya karini vidya na kinchit manasapya pekshate. So his argument continues that the Vedas also proclaim that negligence of the prescribed action will accrue sin. Now, when logic doesn't work, what does the person succumb to? He brings out another weapon, and that weapon is usually of fear. Fear works well. Do you see this? Yeah. If argument or logic didn't get through, he tends to bring up fear as a weapon to poke you. And he says that if you are negligent of your action, you will accrue sin. Yeah? And then, of course, there are stories around sin. You will go to hell and you will have a very difficult time, etc., etc., etc. You know how the stories go. Yeah? So the Vedas proclaim that the negligence of prescribed action accrues sin. Hence, the spiritual freedom seeker must always indulge in action. In psychology, it is shown that to win over an argument, or two people are fighting, say husband and wife are fighting, when they use logic, the logic does not get through to the other person in the moment of anger. Yeah? They're both surrounded by a heavy cloud of anger. So logic doesn't get across to the other person. So what is the psychological move that one of them makes? He says, okay, I am out. I don't care for this relationship. That brings fear into the other one. You see this? You must have seen this very clearly in your relationships. Then fear is used as a weapon to resolve it. It is the same thing that your reflection will do to you. If logic doesn't work in the first go, fear will be used. So it is simply fear being used to convince you that Karma Yoga is greater than Jnana Yoga. But what does direct seeing say? The same verse continues. Direct seeing refutes. Jnana Yoga is autonomously efficient. Autonomously? By itself. It is complete, it is whole, it does not need anything from outside to complete it. And Jnana Yoga is sufficient to take one from lack of knowledge to complete knowledge. This is what direct seeing refutes. Now, this part we have all seen in our journey on Brahman Satyam. I will remind those who walk the path of Brahman Satyam. How did you begin your journey? When you were ignorant, how did you begin your journey? You had a belief. You had a particular belief. Yeah? What was your belief? I am the waker. You didn't even think about yourself as the waker. You thought of yourself as the person. The person in a pre-existing world. The world exists already. In that I am born. I am this person. Then, taking this one step deeper, this person, which is the body mind made of matter, in a world of matter, this person goes to sleep, lies down in bed, a beautiful cloud bed, goes to sleep and has dreams. Means this physical body has a mind inside it. Yeah, so now in your notebook, draw a big circle for the body. Big circle. Inside the big circle, you have a smaller circle, that is the mind. That is how you came from ignorance. With that understanding you came. So, first ignorance is I have a body. And then is, oh, inside that body there is a mind. And that mind sees dreams. Yes. And it didn't stop there. It went on to the deep sleep. What is this third ignorance? The same body made of matter, lying on the bed, suddenly stops having the mind. The mind is not there. I am absent. But the body is still lying in bed. Only I am absent. Do you see this? So now draw a smaller circle inside the mind. Yeah. What is that smaller circle? Of being an individual. Yeah. Being an individual. Do you see this? Here in the deep sleep, that individuality is still there. I am still lying on the bed. The mind is not there, but I am still lying on the bed. Individuality is still there. You came from your ignorance, from I am the body, I have the mind inside the body, and I am that individual. That individual doesn't go anywhere. The individual is there. And again, after some time, the mind starts working. And then come back to the dream state. And now I come back to the body. Now this body is really an individual. In the waking, there are others. There is you, he, she, it. Therefore there is an I. Individuality. Yeah? It is reinforced everywhere. And then there is the second level of ignorance or assumption that because there is an individuality here, this individuality is also seen in the dream. Therefore, dream is a reflection of the waking. The waking is higher than the dream. You give the waking higher priority than the dream. Yeah? This was ignorance. This is how we all came. I was a person in a pre-existing world, and because I gave this waking more importance, dream was a reflection of the waking. And here in the dream, the body is still lying on the bed. Yes, but only the mind is active. It is reflecting the waking. And then in the deep sleep, the body is still lying in the bed. Only the mind has disappeared. Here in the dream, the mind was projecting some reflection of the waking, but here in the deep sleep, the mind stopped projecting. But I am still there. Yes, very clear ignorance. You have a memory of this. This is the way the karma yogi thinks. The karma yogi still believes. Do you have clarity that you don't see it this way anymore? Karma yogi is still here, whereas I am not. Do you have this clarity? Yes, I am not at this ignorance. Are you sure you have this clarity, each one of you? Only if you're sure should you continue with Rama Drishti. Yeah? Please do not fool yourself. You have to have this clarity before you start arguing with the Karma Yogi. Yeah? This is the way he still thinks. I do not think like this. Yes. This is the main point. You should know from which angle is he speaking. He is assuming he is the waker. He's assuming that he's the body-mind person. Are you assuming the same? Yeah. Yeah. So do you see two separate perspectives? He's speaking from this waking body level. You are speaking from the background level. The black background. You're at no thingness. Do you recognize that? Such a big difference. Yeah, such a big difference. So begin with that clarity that I am at the level of the background. I am the witness of the person. Whereas this Karma Yogi is the person. So whatever he says is limited to the waking. What I see is beyond the waking, beyond the dream, beyond the deep sleep. Clear? Now, when you came onto the Advaita path and you started seeing the truth, then it was revealed to you that you are not this person. You are the witness of this person. And you started working on that witnessing. Yes, I am the witness of this person. I am not this person. You kept increasing the distance between yourself and the body mind. Yeah, and you kept practicing your Swapna Nidra Jnana Sadhana. Do you remember those days? Yes. So then what got revealed to you? Did you see that you considered yourself to be this waking dream character in a waking dream world? Yeah. You used to call it the waking world, but now you see, oh, it is a waking dream. It's not different from the dream. And this person still comes up. But now I know it is a waking dream character. The waking dream world still comes up. But I don't get fooled by it. Because now I recognize it as a waking dream world, not a waking world. Are you here yet? Have you reached this recognition? Have you progressed from being the waking person to being the waking dream character? Whenever I slip, I become the waking dream character, and now I realize, oh no, I am not that. This is a dream. This is an illusion. I tend to slip. Okay, I'm not 100% perfect, but I have that next second I am back to my background of nothingness. And I label this as waking dream character, illusion. Is this happening? Yeah. When I become the waking character and start taking this waking world for real, immediately I go back. I go back to the background and realize, no, not waking world, waking dream world. Have you progressed from labeling it as waking character to waking dream character? Have you progressed from labeling it as waking world to waking dream world? Is this clarity there? Yeah, you check. Yes, I see it. And the moment I slip, I come back. It's not that I have slipped for a long time. It's not even 5, 7, 10 minutes now. Within a minute or two, I am back. Within a minute or two, I am back. Yes. And I recognize, no, this illusion, that illusion. The second step is clear. Have you reached here? Okay. Third step. I still get lost in the dream. Yeah, I still get lost. Earlier, I used to think I am sleeping on the bed and my mind is thinking of all this. Whatever, the content of the dream is not important. I had a feeling I am sleeping on the bed and the mind is thinking all this. Yeah, and I get lost in the dream world. Yeah. This is what I used to think before. The waker, that karma yogi who's arguing with me, he sees it like this still. But when I progressed, what happened? This dreamer, supposedly lying on the bed, disappeared. There was only the dream. There was only the dream. There was never a body lying on the bed and having the dream. Oh, I had misunderstood. I had created a story. Now I'm very clear. I still slip back into the old story. In that dream sequence, I still become the dream character, but immediately I become the witness. My witnessing has become strong. Because my witnessing has become strong in the waking, it has become strong in the dreaming. So now I just recognize, oh, there is a dream sequence. I am the witness of the dream. I am not the dream character. And the moment I recognize it, the dream collapses. I recognize it, dream collapses. Have you progressed to this level? This is point number 3. Clear? If this is very clear that, oh, so many times I come to that recognition, oh, I am the witness of the dream. I am not the dream character. And immediately the dream collapses. And there I go back to nothingness. Now remember, there is a difference between my 2 slides of nothingness. In this nothingness, there is the sense of I am. It's waiting there all by itself. The stars in the sky is the sense of I am. It's waiting there. There's nothing to know. There's nothing to know. There's nothing to know. And then that also collapses. This is the absolute nothingness. This is the 4th scene. If this is very clear, you have come to the nothingness recognition. When you have recognized the sense of I am collapse. There's nothing to know, there's nothing to know, there's nothing to know. The dream has vanished. The sense of I am collapses. So that sense of being is gone. Yeah? That is why you have no memory of deep sleep. There's nothing. There's no recording. Can anything be recorded in nothingness? No, there is no recording. That is why I don't have any recording of this nothingness. There is only one recognition. What is that recognition? Of Ananda. This nothingness is made of bliss, made of peace. Yes, that is why, however beautiful the waking is, I want to go to sleep every night. I have that value for deep sleep. This is what you value. This bliss, this nothingness, this peace, this absence of arisings, this absence of I. This is that sweet bliss. This is Satchidananda. First you recognize only Ananda, the sweet taste of nothingness, the sweet bliss. Yeah? Again, from this Ananda comes back the sense of I am. The sense of I am does not like to stand alone because it recognizes I came from nothingness. I came from nothingness. That means I am nothing. It shudders, it shakes, it does not like this truth. It wants to project something and distract itself from this truth now. And immediately it projects some dream. The content of the dream is not important. There's either a perception or sensation or thought or feeling. Something it projects and distracts itself, gets busy with it. So it does not have to recognize its true nature of nothingness. Clear? And from the same dream, it extends its distraction to the waking. Do you see this? This is a very important transition. How the I comes out of nothingness, how it goes back to nothingness. This is the most important. So you learned to really see this. You worked on this on your Brahman Satyam journey, in I am that or in Atmanirvriti. You recognized it. Did it bring you to that clarity that where I was when I believed I am the waker, I am the dreamer, I am the deep sleeper, where I was ignorant of these three states? There was lack of knowledge. And now that I recognize knowledge, I know that I am first the lower witness, sense of I am, and then the higher witness, the absolute nothingness. So where there was lack of knowledge, now there is knowledge. Have you come to this last, fifth seeing? Then you have completed the journey of what this verse says. It says jnana is sufficient, autonomously sufficient. It does not need anything else. Did you practice any karma yoga to get here? Did you do any breathing, any mantra, any yoga, pranayam? You didn't do any karma yoga. You still got to this nothingness. Yeah. And it's an alive, conscious nothingness. You recognize the consciousness. Yes? You recognize the ananda, the sweet peace of it. And you recognize how from it the I is projected first, then the dream, then the waking. So how projection happens, that has also become very clear. Yes? So you have completed the journey of this last sentence of the verse, which says that jnana is autonomously sufficient to take you there, to eradicate lack of jnana. So this was a full recap of Atmanirvriti in 10 minutes. Do you see it? Intellectualization is of no use. Pit-patting it is of no use. Do you see it in your Swapna Nidra Jnana Sadhana? Honestly. So if you see this whole thing end to end, you've understood how jnana can eradicate lack of jnana. This is complete in your seeing. Even if you just saw glimpses, that's okay. On your journey, you're going to see glimpses because the heavy weight, the burden of ignorance is so strong. No? So you cannot really see it continuous. It'll take some time. But you have each and every glimpse. You cannot say, oh, there is not a single glimpse that is missing. You have each and every glimpse. And these are not just glimpses, they've been quite frequent in your Swapna Nidra Jnana Sadhana. For those who have not seen it more than once, you are in deep trouble. Yeah? Just once is not sufficient. You are in deep trouble. Yeah? What is your trouble? Your trouble is again your past conditioning of karma yoga or bhakti yoga has come in between and has created a block. You only saw it once, the ego didn't like what it saw, and it created a block for you. Yeah, so you will have to 100% drop karma yoga and bhakti yoga if you want to remove that block. Yeah, only once you saw the eye coming out of the deep sleep and never saw it again. Yeah, that means you have a major block. Or you saw it just twice. It is a major block. Yeah, major block. So what you need to do? Completely stop karma yoga practices, 100%. Not even listen to a chant, not even listen to a Swami, not even go that way. All the books of karma yoga should be packed and put away. Yeah, in the India retreat, I told them, pack all your gods and mail them to me. I gave them my address. And some people are very serious. I really received the mantelpiece of a lot of people. Yeah. So you can also send your mantelpiece to me. Yeah. So not just your karma yoga books and talks and videos and teachers, but even anything that makes you go back to rituals, like the idols of God, the photographs of God. I received a lot of photographs of the Indian gods. Yeah. Let go of all bhakti yoga and karma yoga attachments which are still lying around. Yeah. Go back to your bookshelf and dig out all bhakti yoga books, all karma yoga books, and ship them off to Ekta. I'm done with this. Not my problem. And donate it somewhere. Yeah? So from your side, it will be like a surrender, letting go and allowing that space for jnana. Yeah? Then you see in one of your swapna nidra jnana sadhana that I will come back. You've suppressed it with something. You don't know it. You can't see how you're suppressing it. You're suppressing it. So if there was only one glimpse of this I, yeah, you see there is an I over there, right? There's only one glimpse of the I. You have blocked it with something. Yeah? The ego didn't like that truth. That I am not a person. Yeah? I'm not a mother. I'm not a father. I'm not a son. I'm not a daughter. I don't live in a world. This world is not real. It wanted to block this truth. And it did it very conveniently. Now you have to figure out how it blocked, what mechanism was used. That's a lot of work. Easiest, pick out everything of karma yoga and bhakti yoga path and out. Either send it to a thrift store, goodwill store, an orphanage, donate it to relatives, friends. Get it out of your house, out of where you live. And then focus only on Swapna Nidra Jnana Sadhana. I'm done with this surrender. This is out. Now Swapna Nidra Jnana Sadhana is my go-to. And I will stick to it. Come what may, I will not budge from my Swapna Nidra Jnana Sadhana. That should be the only book till you get to this point. You should not read anything else. You should not hear any other talks other than the talks that continuously remind you of Swapna Nidra Jnana Sadhana. Yeah, there is only one way out of the waker illusion. And that is to recognize you are Turiya. You were never the waker. You have to go to the fourth. If you don't go to the fourth, you will be stuck either in the first or the second or the third. Either the waker or dreamer or deep sleeper. Is this clear? So that direct seeing is very clear. How direct seeing refutes that Jnana Yoga is sufficient. It's autonomously efficient. Nothing more is required. Then is the next verse, verse number 13. It's a short verse. न सत्य कर्योपि हि यद्वत् अध्वरः प्रकाङ्क्षते अन्यानपि कारकादिकान् तथैव विद्या विदितः प्रकाशितैः विशिष्यते कर्मभिरेव मुक्तये. Again, this is an argument of the ritualist. So the translation and direct seeing would be the same. You cannot change somebody else's argument. So the ritualist debates, this is the untruth that jnana is independent. As rituals require action, wisdom must also require action for moksha. This is their next level of debate. This is how they will argue with you. That it is impossible that jnana is so independent. How can it be so independent? Yeah. On the path of karma yoga, I have to chant mantras, I have to do pranayama, I have to do yoga, I have to take vows for the body, for the mind, I have to stick to so many rites and rituals. I have to do so much action at the weaker level. How can you say that on the jnana yoga path or wisdom path, no action is required and you will get moksha? This is their argument. So, what does direct seeing say? How does it explain in detail to them? That we will see in verse 14. Kejit vadanti te vitarkavadina tadapya asat drishta virodha karanat deha bhimanat abhivardhate kriya vidyagata ahankrititaha prasiddhyati. So I'll give you the literal translation because here in verse number 14, translation is separate from direct seeing. So the translation is what the Vitarka Vadins argue with logic, that is untrue. And why is it untrue? Because of the following obvious contradiction. This is the first two lines. The next two lines are, in the soil of the body ego is nurtured action. In the soil of the body ego is nurtured that sprout of action. Whereas knowledge blossoms when the ego is eliminated. Do you see the obvious contradiction? This is very clear in translation itself. For action to happen, what is the prerequisite? Do you recognize it now? For any action to happen, you have to go back to the waking state and assume to be the waking person. Do you recognize this? Yeah. So first, the soil has to be nurtured. Soil is nurtured means the belief that I am the body-mind person made of matter existing in a world of matter. Yeah. This is that soil, that belief. And now that soil, when it is ready, what does it sprout? Deha Bhiman, ego of the body. I am the body. Yeah, this is the third line. But where does knowledge really happen? When I move from the waker's body-mind to the witness of the waker. This is the witness. of the waker. I am not the waker, I am the witness, the sense of I am. And then I stay there, I stay there, I stay there, and then I allow the I to collapse. And then I am just left with absolute nothingness. Oh. I collapsed means what? Elimination of the ego was required to get here. So you see the obvious contradiction? For Karma Yoga, ego needs to be nurtured, Deha Bhiman. For Jnana Yoga, what needs to be done? The Deha Abhiman needs to be eradicated. This are two obvious contradictions. With these two obvious contradictions, it is not possible that both Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga follow the same path where Karma Yoga needs action. So Jnana Yoga should also need action. It's not possible only. Jnana Yoga needs dropping of the illusion of action. Whereas Karma Yoga needs the illusion of action, needs the illusion of doership. That is why the Vitarkavadan's logic is completely wrong. It is untrue because of this obvious contradiction. Now, this is just the translation. Let's look at what direct seeing says. Direct seeing asserts, once personhood is assumed, doership is assumed. The moment you become the waker in the waking world, then you also assume doership. Do you recognize it? There is doership. Once doership is assumed, doing is assumed. Assumed, that is the magic word here. There is no doing happening. I assume everything. Yeah, it is all an illusion. The illusion of the doing by the doer is guided by what? By that Karma Yoga instruction, dropping expectation of the fruit of action. Do you remember this? You drop the expectation of the fruit of action and just be. But what fruit are you going to drop? That is the illusory fruit. Your expectation is also an illusory expectation because your doing itself is illusory doing. You see this? So direct seeing, it's showing you all this is an illusion. All this is an illusion. And that is why action is an illusion born of identification. Then what is wisdom? If all this is an illusion and everything that is happening here in this waking is an illusion, then what is wisdom? Now, you check, do you really see reality like this? There is only an arising, one at a time. There's the background and then there is an arising. One at a time. One arising at a time. Either it is sight, or it is sound, or it is smell, or it is taste, or it is touch, or it is a thought, a feeling, a sensation. One arising at a time. I sew them together. I create a story. And then I believe that this is the world I see. I don't see like this. This is only a story I have created. At any given moment, there is only one arising at a time. This is wisdom. There's the background of the now and there is the arising on it. So we'll read from the Rama Drishti book. Wisdom is the reality of the canvas of the now. on which illusory action wave arises and dissolves. Yeah. Sight arises, you think, oh, I am seeing. You have assumed seeing. You've not even assumed seer, you have assumed seeing. And seeing is nothing but just a wave. There is no seeing happening. There is only the knowledge of a sight, a vision. Yeah? There is no real sound. There is only knowledge of a sound. It is an illusory action wave of hearing. Yeah? You assume that you are hearing it. Yeah? You connect all of them and create a story. The story vanishes in the next moment. The story cannot stand by itself. Do you realize it? Yeah? But you connected sight of Ekta with the sound of Ekta. And you created a story that I am continuously listening to this knowledge. And I am sitting here on the couch and making notes. Yeah? You have this whole story in your mind. Are you able to see it? Yeah? It is not the truth. The truth is the canvas of the now and one arising at a time. And that arising is only an illusory knowledge wave that pretends to be the real thing. Is this very clear? This is wisdom. Do you see it like this? Are you clear that this is the way you see the truth and you don't get lost in the illusory way of thinking the way the karma yogi gets lost? He thinks that there is this whole story existing permanently, continuously, moment to moment to moment to moment to moment. Are you still lost here? If you are continuously there, then the karma yogi will easily drag you away from your jnana. You will lose to the karma yogi. But if you are not lost, if you are clear that I'm the background of the now, on which there's just one arising at a time and it disappears, again another one and it disappears, another one and it disappears. Oh, there is no story to be stitched. They are random. There is no continuous story here. Just the now, the now, the now. Then, even when a karma yogi approaches with the argument, you see the argument as one arising. And that arising disappears, gets wiped. Are you there yet? If that is clear, then the last paragraph will be clear. Verse 14 in Rama Drishti, direct seeing. Hence, ego-driven illusory action cannot complement ego-devoid wisdom of the beyond. Ego-driven illusory action cannot complement ego-devoid wisdom of the beyond. Complement, you understand, no? They cannot go hand in hand because they are obvious contradictions. There is no story. There is just one arising at a time. Each arising is an inside-out projection. Means what? It is only an idea of sight. There is no external seeing. There is only an idea of sound. There is no external sound. There is only an idea of smell, taste, touch, thought, feeling, sensation. There is no smell, taste, touch, thought, feeling, sensation really. Idea means it is only knowledge. So, ego-driven. illusory action cannot go hand in hand with ego devoid wisdom of the beyond. Yeah. Why? Because action is born of false identification and wisdom is born of disidentification. For action to be born, you have to first become the person in a waking world, and then action is born. Yeah, so you have to identify wrongly first with the body, then it has the mind inside the body, and it is an individual entity separate from the other. These three misidentifications happen before there is action born of it. So, action is born of false identification or misidentification. Wisdom is born of dropping all this. Oh, I am not the waker, I am the witness of the waker. And then dropping even that witnessing or letting the I collapse automatically into the nothingness. Disidentification. Clear? Wisdom is born of disidentification. Very clear? Verse number 14 is clear. If you are clear, then nobody, no karma yogi, that is your own reflection, can ever sway you from your path.